Good evening, ladies and gentlemen that are present with us on the live stream and also here physically with us. So now is the final debating session of day 4 debating session for MUSA General Elections 2024. And here with us today is the candidates for Head of Activities. They are Hilary and Calvin from Equitast. And before we proceed with the debating session, we would like to provide a quick introduction about the MUSA General Elections 2024. So I'm the returning officer for this term. My name is Aaron. So now we'd like to pass it to Calvin and Hilary for their opening statements so that all the students can know about themselves and also manifesto they want to bring to the student community.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for everyone that has been present here or in the live stream. Yeah, we're from the Aquitas Party, and I'm Hilary from School of Arts and Social Sciences, and currently in my second year. So, we'll be contesting for the activities position, and the reason I'm qualified for this position is because of my time experience in activities and Musa Buddy program. Throughout the year, I have had the opportunity to learn and understand the team dynamics and workflow structure. Through working with multiple departments in MUSA and being the PIC of two MUSA activities event, I have developed communication and event management knowledge that I believe will help me tackle this role.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Calvin. So, just a short introduction to myself. For me, I have been doing planning and events since I was in high school, where I have to plan activity for my clubs or even manage some ad hoc project where I was in multiple different departments for my school or even for outside organization. And I also continued this journey when I was in MAFI, the MAFI Student Council, where I was one of the EXCO committee. Where I supervise a lot of events that is very similar to what event has been provided in Monash, such as Muffy Talent Quest, which is very similar to Monash Got Talent, or even the Muffy Prom, which I think all these skill and the experience that I've gained through all this, I can transfer it from there and adapt it over here, where I think it's quite similar, just on a bigger scale, where I think I need more experience, of course. And right now in MUSA, I'm also part of activities as well as MUSA Buddy Program, one of the secretary, where I oversee and manage most of the documentation and event planning stage, like EMS approval, SARA approval as well, where I think this will give me some shallow knowledge into going into this position, as I think this could help me to even further my understanding of this position as well. So now to be talking about our manifesto, the first point, which will be make Monash alive. This is not a concrete goal or concrete target we achieve that we can see, but it's more of a principle of a value that we hope to follow throughout when we are planning this event. So any major decision that we would go to, we would actually go to this principle. We see if this decision would affect our principle and see whether if we can do something even better to help make Monash even alive as well. As activities, we are part of the student experience. We are in charge of increasing the student experience, making sure they have work-life balance in between their academic and their leisure lifestyle. So as activities heads, we would proudly use this principle to ensure every student in Monash would be alive, wouldn't be too stressed out on their studies. As we all know, Monash is very, very stressful and could sometimes be very packed. So as us as head of activities, we would need to we will need to aim to increase the student experience, and so that everybody would have fun in this university, and they will not just remember about their study life or just academic stress all. And for increasing, next point, which will be increasing external collaboration, we hope to increase more external partnership, as I think what the current OBs, Wesley and Valencia, has laid out on their internal collaboration within the clubs and MUSA, such as collaborating with Welfare Division on EDI Week and MUSA Wall, or collaborating with Club and Society like MBC on the Waterbomb Festival. I think these are very, very good initiative. I think we can take it up a notch by having external collaboration, as in Monash, we actually is very close to Sunway, Taylors, and even Inti as well, I think it will be a good opportunity for us to grab to actually plan an event that involve all party and could hopefully benefit all party as well.
Okay, the manifesto also includes keeping the values and traditions of MUSA while moving it forward. We want to make our event better, um, more inclusive, and impactful for all the students in Monash University. By learning from the past events and student feedbacks, we can plan more unique and enjoyable experiences. It's not just about getting more participants, but also bringing together diverse group to have fun and connect.
All right, so that's the end of the opening statement from the candidates. So before we proceed to the next session, I'd like to give a gentle reminder to all the audiences that are watching this on live stream and also physical with us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it inside the chat box. This is for the live stream audience. And for those that have questions physically, after the following session, you guys will be provided an opportunity to direct your questions directly to the candidates. So now I'd like to invite the current OBs, the head of activities, Wesley and Valencia, to the stage to ask their questions to the candidates. Please give them a round of applause.
Hi, my name is Wesley. I'm the Male Activities Chairperson for 2024.
Hi, my name is Valencia. I'm the Activities Chairperson.
So thank you, Hillary, Calvin. It's been a pleasure having you on our team so far. And Valencia and I are really looking forward to seeing what you have. Tell me about how you're going to improve flagship events and what new event ideas do you have?
So two questions. So I'll just answer what the first one. So it goes back to our manifesto, which is building on tradition and improving on the driving innovation as well. So we would firstly look at the tradition, like what is working and what is not working. See why is it working? Is it because students enjoy it, or is it just has been a tradition since passing down since Monash as event? So we would like to keep all those and see the feedback from students as well. Why do they like it? And maybe we can try to maybe improve on the things that works as well, and see on the part that it might not work as well, or ideas that need refining. We can see if we can refine it. If let's say we can refine it, we could try to experiment it on maybe smaller scale first before actually putting on a bigger stage, so that we can see if it's really an idea that can't really be worked out, or it's something that we can try to improve on. And for the second part, which is driving innovation, we will also try to implement new initiative or try to do more experimental events, like as I believe this year was also quite experimental, as well as we did a brand new event that hasn't really been done in Monash, Malaysia, which is Movie Night Under the Stars. So I think that would be quite a similar event we would like to do, which is more experimental, where we can do more, as I think us in MUSA activities, we have more budget compared to any other event organizer in Monash right now. So we would probably need to do something that is a bit more outstanding, more event that would wow people away. So one of the main idea that we discussing was charity or color run, where we also would collab with CNS as well, where it would involve the Monash Cup. So we can let all students participate in Monash Cup as well. And it will be a fun charity run event where even people could donate to charity, so that people would be more willing to join the event as well. Of course, the detail of the event haven't been fully settled, but I think if doing it like this, we're actually able to feel focused. And this sem, due to some issues, we didn't really have much MVP event, and so we would try to increase the people's idea of MVP and what it is, which is just a small program for people just to meet new friends and just networking. As from my experience in MVP as just a committee, yes, I met a lot of people through MVP where I still say hi to, talk to them until now to this day as well.
All right, thank you for the answer, Kelvin. I have two follow-up questions. The first is on improving flagship events. Can you give me a specific example?
Okay, so for improving like flagships events from the past, like this year's events, which is water bomb, movie night, yeah, and also like EDI week.
I'll interrupt you for a second. By flagship events, I mean Monash traditional events that is within the constitution for activities to uphold, such as Monash Ball, orientations, Monash Got Talent.
So, okay, I'm really sorry for that. Okay, so for the flagship events, maybe I can give like one example from the orientation, like last time the orientation from July orientation. Um, I feel like it's quite chaos for us to like do the tour, the campus tour. So I think yeah, we can really improve on that by giving the team more specific roles and what to do, and even the teams, and also enforce the enforce them to not be late to that orientation, so that all the campus tour and all the things that we need to do in that day can runs well.
All right, thank you for your answer. The second follow-up question I have is regarding the collaboration event initiative, the Color Run. So the largest bottleneck for big scale events like
Sorry, you mean like the semester break for us to start planning an event?
when do you intend to start planning for this Color Run? And do you have any other commitments during the semester break?
Okay, so I haven't really planned a color, but I do know the process of roughly researching when I'm thinking of this idea. So I do know like it's a very long process, and I also have attended quite a few color run. Like from my own high school, we also have a color run, and also IMU they have their own charity run as well, which is an annual event, which is very big, which is one of their flagship event as well. So for me, I think for this event, we can start as soon as possible, around the same time where Monash Cup planning should also start, as we would like to involve the CNS as well, so that we can involve this event in Monash Cup. So it will probably roughly start around early next sem as well. Then yes, I think we both sign up for this role, we would know that our sem break would be sacrificed, of course, on this method, and I think we are both willing to sacrifice parts of our sem break for this planning the event, as I think we would have a strong team in activities, and if let's say the collaboration went well with CNS, we will also have a strong team there as well. And based on previous debate, we also heard that welfare is also interested in this kind of event. So if let's say they are on board as well, we will have a strong team of division on it. So I don't think manpower issue or time management issue would be a big issue as well.
All right, cheers.
All right, continue to the next question. Is on your manifesto. So on your manifesto, you wrote that you want to make Monash alive and let students distress and have fun. And is fun and stress relief for students the only goal of the events you plan to host?
In the in this last part of the manifesto, we also write about maintaining the old tradition of MUSA activities, which we also maintain that, and also to make more fun activities for students in Monash University. And yeah.
And to say, of course, our main goal would be that to make at least all students to have fun, but definitely not as well, as we do have some events like Respect a Monash and or EDI Week, where it's also for us to raise awareness on some particular topic. Like this year, we did raise a bit of awareness on some Paralympic, as during the time of EDI Week, it was the Paralympics. So we also would like to do that, but I think as MUSA Activities Division, our main goal still should be the student experience, as we should try to maintain that. Of course, we can insert a few workshop events or even events that could help them to gain knowledge, but I think those are also quite sufficient from other schools or clubs and society with their own niche, like political awareness club, or even film Mon film where they can discuss their interests as well. And one more thing that we also would like to initiate is try to increase networking or maintain networking, as last year manifesto by you guys was also that. So we also try to make, I think for us as the main events hoster, we are one of the bridges between students and MUSA as well. We are one of the communication, not really communication, but the bridges in between students and MUSA, where the students would trust MUSA more if the quality of event of MUSA activity plan is good. If let's say the quality of our event is good, they will willing to trust MUSA more. They're willing to participate more in MUSA, like our election, or even going to other division like MUIS, MCN. They are more willing to go there. Or let's say welfare having an event, we could help them to increase our trust in MUSA, knowing that MUSA is a good quality organization where we put out good events for students. We increase the student experience. We allow them to voice out their opinions if they have any concern. We wouldn't be just some organization, some group of people planning event for the sake of planning event, or just for the sake of having fun, where students actually trust us MUSA, as MUSA is not just about planning event. We also have school rep department where if let's say we are able to increase the trust in them, they might say they have any issues, they can report it to welfare division, or let's say they have any academic stress or any academic reasons that they are very stressful, they can go to their reps or welfare department to talk about their academic issue and to see, let's say, if MUSA us can help to solve it. Of course, us MUSA activities will not be it, but we do hold a very, very strong bridge between student and us. So I think for us, it will be quite important to maintain that trust so that all students would trust MUSA, and they will know that we are here to help them as well, not just through their student experience, maybe their academic life, their academic stress, or just in life stress in general.
Cheers. So for the next question, I see that in your manifesto you plan to reach out to other universities for collaborations. Our relationship with Sunway and Taylor's is pretty decent. We have Aaron, the past Sunway Council president, over here. But to work together, generally both parties need to benefit. So tell me about these collaboration ideas you have and why other universities would be interested.
So, I believe some Monash people know that actually we do have a small influence in Monash in something which is MAFI, Monash Foundation Year, which actually is, it could be a small bridge for us to actually use for us to even increase our further connection in Sunway, as not much, besides from the school, MUSA doesn't really go in or touch MAFI, as only can say the school where they had events like MAFI Discovery Day, Monash Discovery Day, where MAFI students can come in to Monash and learn about the course they're interested in. So I think MUSA not necessarily can do the same event. We can do fun event, as I think we do have a few overlapping event like MAFI Talent Quest or even Monash Got Talent. We definitely can do something collaborative, starts from something simple first, or we can also just straight jump from the gun to go collab with Sunway and their flagship event, which is their Sunway Got Talent, as it's quite hosted every year, and it's actually it's probably their biggest event from what I know, as they involve external judges of different very, very popular, and like just in general, once this event happen, everyone will know it's going on. So yes, of course, we need to benefit both parties. If let's say events like Monash Got Talent or Sunway Got Talent, let's say we collab a Monash and Sunway Got Talent, I think it's a good way to benefit both schools, as I think having both schools, we actually can increase the amount of participation. But not to say that Sunway Got Talent, they don't need participation. Of course, we can add on to more of that. We can maybe increase the quality of the event, increase the variety of event, as I think having multiple people of different background, as Monash have more international students as well. I think we can maybe have more international performances if let's say the international student want to perform as something similar to MCN as well. So I think that is how we can benefit both party in this specific example.
So you plan to host, the example you raised was to host the Monash Got Talent on the Sunway campus, is that right?
That is example, but then I'm still the idea hasn't been flushed out as well. It's just a possibility, but I think resources in Monash, of course, compared to Sunway will be better, but depends on we need to see if the student would want it as ultimately it will be the student attending the event. But from my experience seeing the facility in Sunway, it's I would compare it, sorry to compare it to Monash. I think Sunway Jeffrey Cha Hall is actually a very, very good place to host an event. But ultimately, we still need to see whether student will want it or not.
When do you plan out to reach to these other universities?
For when, we don't have an exact date, of course, but then we would try to reach out as soon as possible, or let's say we have an idea of something. Not to say we would just jump in blindly without an idea, without preparation.
All right, cheers.
Okay, for the next question. So both of you were in MUSA Buddies program, which for the benefit of those in the audience who were not aware, is a department that just this year was allocated under activities that host various networking events. So in our term, MBP separated as more tight-knit with focus on detail and networking, like MBP escape room and other events, while activities division events are more campus-wide, large-scale events like Wire Bomb, Outdoor Movie Night, or Monash Ball. So I do believe there is some improvement that can be made with seamlessly implementing MBP as a department in activities, especially after an entire year in action. So tell me, how would you improve the implementation of MBP as a department in activities?
I think I would say MBP's team right now is starting to grow. I would also, I could also say, since I'm also part of MBP in like one of the SEMs, so I think we can improve MBP by giving more like giving more in terms of the budgeting, the fundings for MVP, because since our goal is also for maintaining work-life balance, so I think it's important for us to give maybe a little more fundings for MVP to so that they could make a better event in the future.
To add on to my partner's answer as well, yes, we both agree that to maintain the autonomous of MPP, which is where they can do their job more freely, and us activities heads will be more of a supervisor and advisory role. So not only that, I think what MPP right now lacks is this is something I wanted to implement it as a secretary, but then due to some reasons we didn't really implement it, which is something to what CNS and BC are doing, which is a newsletter, which is actually we could add a few benefits for them signing up this as a member. So if let's say they sign up as a member, they can get this newsletter where they would know what would MBP or activities going on right now. And if let's say we have an event approved already, and just we can even let them to sign up early as a member, not really member perks you can say, but
This does have a large budget. 90% of it is dedicated towards Monash Ball. So all the events in semester one, in addition to all the events MVP hosts, that takes up only around 10% of the total budget. And if you do wish to increase the budget for MVP, this may not be within your control due to the significance of Monash Ball. Student Life and MUSA as a whole may put more importance on it. And if this situation is out of your control, if you are unable to increase the budget for MVP, how will you approach this situation?
Yeah, even if that's like out of our control, I actually know about that, but I could still say we could increase their budget by increasing sponsorship from other companies outside of Monash, and yeah, I think that would help MBP to get more of the budget that they need.
All right, thank you for the answer. So moving on, another question from me. Orientations in Monash, Malaysia are very often compared to the Australian campus. And although the Australian student population is a lot larger, there are still a lot of valid complaints, I would say, that have been brought up regarding the atmosphere of Monash, Malaysia's orientation. So keeping in mind that activities responsible for manpower allocation, the welcoming session, and an event that is usually held in a badminton court for all the new intake, do you have any specific plans to improve on the orientation?
So I think what student right now think orientation right now is something a global theater, where I think yes, some of the elements was implemented where they had quite a lot of free flowing food, which is the ice cream. Sorry, not ice cream, the cotton candy and the popcorn as well. And we also had a small movie session, but I think we can see what which is majority of the food. I think, which is quite, it would attract people as it's free food. People wouldn't say no to free food from my experience. So that definitely could help to improve it. And besides just taking from past event, we also can try to do more events that make students willing to stay in campus to see, there's this event going on. Maybe I can join to see what Monash is about, see what MUSA activity can bring out into their student experience before they start their student life.
I think other than free food, I think students really love to gain like more incentive from like those events like orientation events. For example, in Go Global, there is like this currency that is implement for that, and I think that really attracts like students to come to the event and have fun. Yeah.
All right, good answers, but I will have to remind you that the budget for orientation is not unlimited. As such, free food and multiple events may be out of your reach. But if you're able to implement this, I do think those are very good improvements to the orientation. Cheers.
All right, next question. Effective communication is critical in event planning. So, how would you establish or maintain clear and consistent communication between all stakeholders, such as student life, external partners, and your team, especially when dealing with tight deadlines and overlapping responsibilities?
So I'll just talk about as me and Hillary are not that well versed in communicating with student life, so we won't really have a specific answer on that. But we do know roughly that meetings are held, maybe we can involve the executive as well, so that we can share more the opinions if the student life there allows it as well. And for more on between our own committee, I think enough transparency should be instilled, as definitely not full transparency, as not everything has to be known by everybody. So we would try to ensure that all the important information should be known by not just activities as well as MPP, so that we both parties would know when, for example, like event dates, like let's say activities plan to have events on this week, so that MPP would know to try to avoid those few dates, as it will cause some clashing and maybe some manpower issue as well. And besides just having transparency, we also should also, for our weekly meeting as well, I think we should also maintain the weekly meeting and try to, if let's say anything important to report in the meeting, no matter how small, or like any progress update for any specific event, if let's say even though there's not much changes to the event, it should still be reported, so that we all know that the progress of this particular event. If let's say we have any idea, also can also shout out in the meeting during as well.
Okay, moving on. Can you tell me about your leadership style? How do the both of you complement each other?
Okay. For me, for my position when I was in a leadership role, I'll just use what I did when I was supervising role in Murphy Student Council, where I didn't really lead or take charge of the thing. Any event, so I let my event department, event PIC to take charge of the event. I see what they lack in, what is their weaknesses, where I need to cover for them and cover for them from that. As for me, I think a leader isn't someone to not just necessarily just lead as well, is for someone to help their members, help their subcommittees to ensure that they can carry out their task efficiently as possible. Of course, there is some time that I need to put my leg down and say no to something to make some of the hard decision. If let's say experience like maybe I was teacher advisor, or in this MUSA, it would probably be student life or the president, where their experience say is not going to be a good idea. That is where I have to put my foot down and tell them that why I cannot just be a blind person, just a yes man and just say yes to everything. Then this could affect the quality of event. Of course, if let's say something is very, very possible, and I would fight for them as well to see if it's feasible or not. But I would definitely try to maintain a third person's perspective as well, so that I wouldn't just follow them blindly as well. So my leadership style, I would say, is more on support and trying to help my members to have a smoother pathway of hosting events or just completing tasks.
And as for me, since I have the experience of becoming the PIC in MUSA activities, I believe I can manage people more. And yeah, as the compatibility with my partner, I think we both are very flexible for what we can do in this position. And we could, yeah, in each event or in each event planning, we could really take turns on doing the stuff that we need to do.
All right, thank you for your answers. So you've told us about how you want to benefit the students. You've told us about how you want to benefit MUSA. Now I want to ask about the activities division. How will you benefit the activities division, and what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Okay. Legacy will definitely be our manifesto, as what our manifesto says. Yes, make Monash alive, try to improve the student experience, increase collaboration, try to maybe host a few external collaboration event, or maybe try to maintain a relationship with external party, maybe a sponsorship deal that could be ongoing until even future as well. And building on the tradition, driving innovation, try to maintain the tradition of Monash events such as ball and Monash Got Talent, and even improving all the new initiative that I think has been started this year, which is Waterborne Festival, and even maybe combining Monash Got Talent and Monash Ball together into one event. I think it was also could be a good initiative that we can try to experiment within this year. And I think for us, we also would also like to focus on how we would how we would like to build a committee, a strong committee, a strong foundation. As I think for us, we would definitely think that a stronger foundation within MUSA activity is better. We would like to be that foundation so that our committee member would have someone to rely on when they have any problems. So for us, we would try to implement more structured to the team and more organization, and then enhance the communication as well to see what was lacking in this year and maybe improving it further, so that as we both are in activities division this year, we know what is the team weakness, what is the team very strong at. But of course, each committee will be different. So we can take the similar elements that make MUSA activity works, try to implement it. But if let's say it doesn't work, as each team will have their own style, their own team work style. So we would try to see from that point of view as well to see what they need the most.
All right, thank you for your answer. Final question. If Valencia and I both fell into the ocean and you can only save one of us, who would you save?
Valencia, because you can swim, Wesley.
Cheers.
Okay.
All right, please give a round of applause to Wesley and Valencia once again. That's a great question to end up the Q&A. Okay, so moving on to the next session, which will be the questions from the students. So just a reminder to all the live stream audience, please put your questions into the chat box, and then we'll be addressing your questions on behalf of you. Meanwhile, for the audience that are present with us here physically, if you have any questions, just raise your hand, we'll pass the mic to you, and then you can just address your questions directly to the candidates. Is there anyone that would like to ask questions to the candidates? You can just raise your hand up. Is there anyone? If no, then we'll proceed with the live stream question first while you guys are brainstorming the questions you guys would like to ask. So there are a few questions from the live stream to our candidates. So I will be proceeding with the first question. So the first question is, how do you know students would be interested in the charity run event you mentioned? I understand the details aren't finalized yet, but what factors make you confident that students would want to join? This is the first question. Yeah, there are small questions. Do you want me to read everything first?
So that we answer by question.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so charity event like the one that we said before is just like an idea that we're thinking of, but we're also thinking of like the color run, which will be collaborating with CNS for Monash Cup, and I think people will be like interested in doing that because it's based on it's basically the idea that we're thinking of is making this color run event in the beginning of Monash Cup. So in the opening of Monash Cup. So basically people from each of the houses can participate to increase their scores for their own houses.
Okay. So is that the end of the answer? All right. Do you have anything to add on?
No.
Okay. So the next question is, how do you plan to ensure a synergy between the Color Run and the Monash Cup, given that the Monash Cup already requires a lot of oversight and coordination?
Yes, Monash Cup, they actually, CNS, they do have their own like small department just for Monash Cup. I think for us, we could handle most of their part on the event itself, on how we need to, like all the permits we need to apply, everything that we have to do for the event. I think that can be under activities as well. And another thing that that is probably we need to do is early planning. As for event very large scale similar to this, it would be, we would need months or even like we need to plan in advance a few one semester as well. So yes, we would definitely be quite heavy on CNS as well, but I think for us activities, we can take charge of most of the events as well, and CNS can act as a support role, or we can just direct them anything that is more related to Monash Cup to them as well, like the point system, or let's say just the jersey for it.
Okay, so there's another follow-up question for this, your answer. How will you ensure that the Monash Cup doesn't overshadow, or I'm sorry, I think probably what it's trying to say, how will you ensure that the Monash Cup doesn't overshine the charity run or color run, potentially leading to a misrepresentation of the divisions involved?
I think no matter what Monash Cup, it will still overshine a bit, truthfully speaking. Of course, for us activity, we want to make the event as big as possible, but to involve it in CNS Monash Cup, it will definitely compete in terms of that. So definitely there will be some competition, but I think if, let's say, the event is well carried out and we have our own twist to it, instead of just focusing on the points and everything, focusing on the events, like let's say, for example, we could have the color aspect so that people wouldn't really see that, oh, it's just a run, it's just a sport event. they would think it's something more leisure, more fun, and they wouldn't really. Of course, they would still think it's a Monash Cup event, but they would think as its own separate entity as well. And not only that, how do I say this? Okay, for this event, it's in collaboration with CNS. It also might involve other departments as well, as welfare, and they express interest in this kind of event as well, where we could have other mechanisms. For example, IMU event, they actually had a few other small mechanics where they had a lot of performance. They had a lucky draw where they actually give out like TVs, MacBooks. They actually managed to give that out. Of course, those are because they planned this event long time, so they do have the foundation for it. They do have the sponsorship. They do have the connection to do that. But if let's say it's our first time trying it, we will definitely won't be doing something so grand. It would be something more simple. We will more focus on the fun aspect, like performance. And for me, I also trying to. It's an idea for CNS, but I don't really think don't know if it's a good idea, is to let CNS host their opening ceremony during the event as well after the run, so that people will also be more interested in the Monash Cup opening ceremony as well.
Okay. All right. So before I proceed to the next live stream question, is there anyone that would like to ask questions? Okay. All right. Please pass the mic to that gentleman over there.
Right, thank you. So as you have mentioned the charity event and the house points contributing towards the Monash Cup, as I have also been a part of Monash Cup, the tryouts will be held from between March towards Sem 1 and then towards the start of Sem 2. How will you ensure that the house points will correlate with the timeline of Monash Cup? Will it be held before Monash Cup, during Monash Cup, after Monash Cup? And how will you ensure that the houses will all cooperate to, sending the players or the participants for the charity run? As you've known that the trials itself is already a very much a burden not only on CNS but also the house committees and the players. And also, uh, we had a similar event. I believe it was an EDI week where we cooperated with CNS in terms of collaborating with the houses. If you guys remember that, we would apply a similar structure to that. Since you've mentioned now it will contribute to house points, or how will you thoroughly conduct it throughout the timelines and trials and all, considering CNS timeline is already established? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the question. Um, to answer the EDI week first, let me clarify. It's not us working with CNS because it's just the houses is just for, it's not included in the points of the Monash Cup point system. So it's just there. Yeah. So we're not, yeah. Okay. So for the other question about the tryouts and all of those stuff, we're thinking of like the color run is not like a tryout sports or event for the students. So we're just promoting it for the Monash Cup opening. So people will come there and like if they want to participate, then they come to that Monash Cup ceremony, opening ceremony.
Okay, to add on to that, for my idea of this event is actually for everyone to participate. No matter you're an athlete, you're a sports officer, anyone can join this. As I think right now in Monash Cup, it's only limited to the athletes for most events. So having this event where it can involve everybody in Monash Cup, they actually can be more part of the Monash Cup instead of just for the opening or just the closing. They can actually compete for something and try to compete for to win their houses. And from my observation throughout my life in uni, most international students, quite a few, took up running as like a sport or a hobby just to stay in shape or just to maintain some people told me to maintain their sanity here lah. But I think for those they have expressed interest in this, think it will be a good event for them as well, so they can actually just do what they usually do, but on a bigger stage, and maybe try to earn something for their house points as well.
Do you have a follow-up question? All right. So, is there any other questions from the physical audience? If no, I'll proceed to the live stream question first. All right, so the next question is, I believe this person has different questions, so I think you guys can just mark it down first. You mentioned you're interested in organizing events with other universities. Do you think building relationships with different universities fall under the responsibility of the activities division? Or would it be more suited to someone in a different role? If this falls under your responsibility, how would you ensure a strong relationship with other universities? If it's someone else's roles and they don't share the same priority or misrepresent Monash, what steps would you take to prevent that?
Sorry, can you repeat back
Yeah,
the
sure.
question?
You mentioned you're interested in organizing events with other universities. Do you think building relationships with different universities falls under the responsibility of the activities division, or would it be more suited to someone in a different role? If this falls under your responsibility, how would you ensure a strong relationship with other universities? If it's someone else's roles and they don't share the same priority or misrepresent Monash, what steps would you take to prevent that?
For the last part to what? Can you
I
repeat?
believe they mentioned misrepresent MUSA. So it's like if it's someone's role, not yours, not activities, what steps would you take to prevent the person misrepresenting Monash? Because you're, I believe earlier you mentioned something on organizing events with other universities.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. If you base on the constitution where collaboration is definitely not our role, but is I would say it's more in tune on publicity role. But then it doesn't mean we want to take over the role of just increasing networking or increasing publicity. It's just that a way to build a relationship is through planning events together or hosting events where or we attend the event as MUSA, or let's say for example the Sunway Student Council installation night, where some MUSA member do get invited to go to the installation night, where is to help to foster relationship. That is one way. So we do intend on fostering the relationship through planning events together, as well as I think it could help to strengthen both parties, as we can gain new knowledge on how to plan event with an external party with their own style of working, with their own system, with their own committee structure. So, and if let's say publicity doesn't really shine on include on this, we could probably definitely still, not to say that we would take over their role, but we will find out on why do they not think it's a good initiative, or comparatively more on we will try to give them more reasons to not to say force them to do this with us. If we could try to ask if let's say other university approaches and they're interested in this, we could definitely talk to them and see if let's say they don't want to be part of it. I think it's okay as well. I think for activities division it's definitely more than enough. But if let's say they are scared of us misrepresenting MUSA, I think a policy or a guideline should definitely be laid out so that we know what to do, what to act, and then what is the thing that we have to do. Of course, we can't control all of our committee members to act in a certain way, but we definitely hope that we definitely know that there is step to ensure prevent people from acting out. If let's say people doesn't respect the other people, let's say Sunway University's student council member, we definitely will take action as well. And maybe if let's say warning letter is very really needed, we will definitely give that out accordingly as well.
Okay. All right, so before I proceed to the next live stream question, is there anyone from the physical venue who would like to ask a question to the candidates? You can just raise your hand, or else we'll just proceed with the live stream question. All right, so we'll go to the live stream question. Activities often need bookings from Student Life, and delays can happen even with a set timeline. How would you handle it if these bookings or response took too long and caused delays?
I think delays, no matter how much you plan, of course you can plan to prevent it or to minimize the effect, but no matter when you plan an event, something will go wrong, no matter what. From my experience, there's no perfect event, there's no perfect planning, anything. So we definitely can minimize it by doing some precautionary role. I think wide scale event calendar could be implemented so that we can see how many days we have left or what is the deadline for the event specifically. So we can see if, let's say, something is by this date that we have to do everything already, we must do it accordingly. Of course, this cannot say guarantee 100% success rate, but having this wide scale event calendar to be shared throughout MUSA or even just activities division alone as well, everybody can see it. Then anyone can point out if, let's say, they have any concern. And if, let's say, any for between us and student life, definitely can be worked out easily, as I think communicating with them wouldn't be too of a big wouldn't be a major problem if, let's say, the communication is well. However, we all know that sometimes Monash Student Life have their own initiative, as Monash would allow us to plan their event if it's aligned to their goals or not. So if, let's say, our event doesn't really align with their goal, there isn't really much thing we can do. So, but we can try to shift our event concept. Maybe if, let's say, our event concept just needs some refining to shift to very similar to your goal, I think we can do something similar to that.
Okay. Is there anything to add, Hillary? All right.
Okay, to add to that, since we know this problem is kind of out of our control, since the delay is from the student life part, and we know this problem has been going on like for a couple of times. So like the way to maintain this problem is maybe to plan the event way further than the actual event date, so we can minimize the trouble of the delay event booking, venue booking, or all of those stuff.
Okay. So before I proceed to the next question, just another heads up, is there any questions from the physical audience? If no, then we'll proceed to the next question. Okay. Hi, good initiative from the live stream audience. How would you ensure the coordination between departments and division can be smoothed with different portfolio?
So for if our committee of different backgrounds, I assume by different portfolio, I think a way to standardize this is to have a small common goal between all committee. A small one, as I think for us, activity chairperson, we also have different goals. We have different achievement we want to do. So same goes to our subcommittee that we will recruit soon, or any executive. But for us, I think in a team, there should be one small common goal that everybody is willing to achieve, willing to go and set target to, so that everybody would know which direction to go to and what they can do as to improve and even further along the goal to reach to that goal as well. So by having just a small goal of just maybe increasing participation rate, that would be enough for them just to have a small goal in mind, so that they know what to do. They have an idea in mind on how they can improve their task at hand and everything to reach that goal.
All right. Anything to add on, Hillary? No. All right. So for the next question, it's to Hillary. So for Hillary, it seems that throughout the debate, Calvin is more dominant as head. How would you ensure that you'll be able to keep up and prevent future conflicts between you two? Great question, Banana. Yeah, the live stream audience name is Banana. Okay.
Okay, so as I've said before about the dynamic of us working together, I think we're kind of flexible to handle like most of the stuff. So I think like we both have like our strength and weaknesses, and yeah, I think for like right now for the question, yeah, to be honest, Kelvin has a better public speaking than me, so of course, yeah, he can take over like most of the stuff. But for working together in the activities division later on, I'm pretty sure I believe that I myself has my own strengths and weaknesses for working together with him. And as I've said before about maintaining or organizing the team or allocating tasks, or maybe structured the process of making an event, I can make sure that I know more about those stuff, and I will take over when um, there is event planning and all that.
Okay.
So to add on to it, sorry. Okay, just for the person in mind, for me, I think both of us have their own strength. Like, Hillary, instead, she has been working in publicity in MPP and activity for very long, so she has the knowledge of which I don't have. So if you ask me to, you put me in a Canva, I cannot design anything. So I definitely need her experience as well. So I still value her experience, as I think my leadership style is more on supporting. So yes, I sometimes I may seem dominant, but I assure you, a lot of the things I will double check or triple check beforehand of executing it, so that I know what to do and what not to do.
All right, love to hear it. So, is there any other questions from our audience? Okay, there's one question there. Can someone please? Oh, you have a question? Okay, maybe to that gentleman first. Yeah, to him first.
Show me.
Okay, sure. It's fine. Guys, come on, just pick one person. Okay, you have two. He has two questions, so I think you answer for you.
All right, Calvin, Hillary. So as heads, right, you will have like executives who will be working under you, and my question was like, to what degree would you like give these guys like responsibility to do the task? Because as a head, sometimes you have like way more information than them, like when like doing a task, and like you go for a lot more meetings with say student life and stuff, so you have context as to like how much budget you might have, or what is feasible, or what is not as feasible. So I want to know like how would you sort of make sure that these executives can do their tasks, like manage their departments without sort of like overshadowing them and like doing their task for them. Like, let me give you an example. For instance, in operations, right? Maybe you'd want to like liaise with someone, but then like since you have like more details and know-how, you might just like straight up decide to bypass your head and just your executive head and just talk to those guys directly. Like, how do you like see this happening and like fixing this? If that makes sense.
Yes.
Are you guys clear with the question?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so of course, as chairpersons later, we will know like most of the information from like student life or even the higher ups, and for delegating task, I think for the executive, it's like executive part, but also our part. However, I think the main goal of having like committees or subcom is to help us with our work. So I think I believe for the executive later that we'll choose those who can help out, like I mean like cover our weaknesses, so that yeah, we can have a better team for MUSA activities. And I'm pretty sure MUSA activities is a very hectic, no, like yeah, hectic organization, yeah, because we plan event and we try to make it work. So I'm sure that most of the task will be delegated accordingly to the committees.
Do you have a follow-up question?
I think I'm good. We can pass it on to that gentleman over there.
Okay, I think before passing to that gentleman over there, there's an online question that I believe you guys would love to address. So this person asked, following up on previous questions from Banana on the more dominant asset question, how would you both supporting each other without the presence of the other partner? This is crucial, especially when you both manage different area.
I wouldn't say that we confirm Hillary will confirm manage publicity or I will manage ops. That is definitely not set in stone. And then I think as activities heads person, we need to know everything. So we cannot just say, oh, I manage pub, I know pubs. That is definitely a big no-no in we think. And for that, I think without so the question is without the presence of another one.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Following up on previous question from Banana, how would you both supporting each other without the presence of the other partner? This is crucial, especially when you both manage different area.
Mm,
I would how would you both supporting each other without the presence of the other partner? This is crucial, especially when you both manage different areas.
Okay, so as since we're both chairpersons, so it's a two-person job. So I think since I choose him as a partner for me, so I believe in his decision if I'm not present in that specific problem or issue or place. Yeah, I believe that he can manage the team well. And also for me myself, I think if I'm in that situation and I have no idea or I'm kind of blurry on the situation itself, um, I think I'll ask the person to wait for a while I maybe text it or call my partner and discuss with him because since we're both working together, so I think it's important for us to discuss a important issue or matter.
All right. So, you want to ask the question now, sir?
Hi guys, I have a general question for both of you. Can you name okay, no, you don't need to give more than two, but more than two would be nice. Can you name at least two particular areas of priority that MUSA or activities division in particular need to take note of, and how would you tackle these issues?
I think so this can be answered like so for within, do you mean within activity division or MUSA like activity division representation as a whole for like from students point of view, or is it just from our committee's point of view?
Interesting. Okay, you can interpret it as if this area of operation or this priority area will impact your operations.
For me, based on this year's activity division, I think the thing that we can improve on is probably clearer communication. It's not to say that the communication in this year was not that good. It's just that the flow of information wasn't the fastest, as I think some information that the heads or ops knew about it. When we talked to them, like personally, they mentioned it. Then it was actually mentioned quite late in us. So I think that one we can focus on, as communication is quite an important factor between to make a team work. As without communication, without clear communication channel, I think that event or organization wouldn't run smoothly, as the flow of communication is probably the most important, as information getting from the head to the subcom or from the subcom to the head is quite important, as to know that tasks are getting done, tasks is being delegated, to know that what is going on. That is the most important thing, I think, for me. So
Also, to add to that, I think since I'm in the marketing officer in activities, so I would like to point out like maybe we could structure the event planning better in terms of the maybe promotional dates, since I think most of the time not only in activities but also in Musa Buddy program, I think the promotion post or videos or reels came out like maybe too late because we're only given time like 3 days before the event to post. So I think it's kind of late. Yeah, so maybe that's also one of the problem that I would like to.
All right. Is there any follow-up question?
Yeah, this is a separate question, okay? With the increasing number of events held by student entities consisting of clubs and societies and other MUSA departments/divisions on campus, and taking note the decreasing number of available spaces for bookings and activities, especially due to the stages of renovation works for all various campus facilities, right? Do you have any sort of plan to tackle this issue either through planning or streamlining operations?
I think it's can be both. For planning, I think instead of just reusing the same format, like just mingle night where we go station, we go classroom to play a game, I think for MUSA activities, as what we mentioned, is experimenting, as we are the front of event planning in MUSA in all CNS club and society. So we should be the one that is more, to say, daring to do more specialized event like what we did just now, what we did this sem, which is the movie night under the star. So we can try to use think outside the box. Of course, not every idea would come out would be a very good one, but we can still try to implement, see what spaces that we haven't really used. If let's say for the renovation, to see if let's say other spaces like the open rock, or if there any good idea to put any event there, we can try to think of idea. If let's say it cannot, we'll definitely just continue with something that is experimental, like the what we did this year, which is having the movie night at the field over there. And also, besides just looking at new spaces, we also should try new events. I think a good platform for this sem and last sem was actually MVP, where they actually innovate quite a lot of ideas, as they had a few station game where one of this year their mingle night for MVP is a murder mystery. Yes, of course, other clubs have done it before, but then I think for us the reason why I think it's quite successful, because it really the student really actually focus on the murder mystery, as we made it a bit harder and we made it more interactive, so that the people at the station game is the actual suspect itself. So they would able to talk to them, where they maybe act a bit. So I think something like a new initiative, just something small, could help to improve or make us use how to say how able to bring us new life, and basically just able to help us to see if the how do I say this basically for innovating new event, they can we can know what works and what doesn't work as well. So of course, innovating is very, very scary. If it doesn't work, it will be quite a big failure, of course. But I think it's the fact that we are MUSA. We have to be the front. That's why we have to innovate this as well.
Okay, is there any follow-up question?
No, I think those were very solid answers. Good job on the debate, and good luck to both candidates.
All right, so we can accept the remaining live stream questions that we have, which are 2 questions, and also we can accept one more live audience question that are present with us physically, if there's any. So we'll proceed with the live stream question first. Are there any large-scale, unique projects that you are thinking of implementing, which students have not experienced before? If you need me to repeat the question, please let me know.
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time again?
Okay. Are there any large-scale, unique projects that you are thinking of implementing, which students have not experienced before? So I think the keyword is large-scale and unique, and has never experienced before.
So this is just an idea, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is actually kind of hard to execute later on. But since just asking about the idea, right? So so we have an idea of doing like a festival. So basically, you know in the movie Rapunzel, when Rapunzel is in the boat, so we're thinking of doing a lantern festival in Monash University. And I think it's a very unique experience for those who cannot experience it live in other countries. But I'm pretty sure this is kind of hard to execute, so we're still thinking about that.
All right. Look forward to that idea, and hopefully it's executed, because I'll be there. All right. So following to the next question, which is, which universities would you like to collaborate with and why? This will help students know what to look forward to.
Definitely number one is still Sunway, because their motto for Sunway is most happening campus. So
Okay.
I think we can use they can bring their motto, their goal to us, where we can benefit from it to align with our manifesto, which is make Monash alive as well. And other university which is very similar, which probably Taylor, Inti, or we definitely could try other Australian university as well, as we are from Australia. So like Victoria University in the Malaysia campus one is also quite nice as well. So, but definitely more ideas to come later. We also want to see if other parties are interested in collaborating with us or not.
All right, so we can accept one last question from the physical audience. Yes, please. So this will be the last question for today. Unless there's any other questions from a live audience? No? Okay, then that'll be the last question for today.
All right. First of all, you guys are doing great with the answers. So I apologize that I'm hitting you guys with one more. But okay. So as the current publicity executive in activities, you mentioned that the promotional posts are coming out a bit late. I'm not picking beef. Hear me out. Okay. So what I wanted to know was that like a lot of the time for activities or for any clubs actually, like there can be issues with like getting interest on say an event, or maybe like something is not progressing as expected, and like most of the time, well, I'd say like almost all the time everywhere, like there are things that are like last minute, and as such, like there are instances where you might want to change up your strategy, or just try something that you haven't tried before, right? So I wanted to know, like, how would you sort of mitigate these like late last minute kind of things, so that like you sort of gain interest in the beginning, but then you don't really like it's inevitable that like there'll be like last minute work. So how do you mitigate this like last minute work and like make sure the impact of it is not as adverse on your team?
Is the candidates? Do you guys understand the question? You guys understand the question? Okay, great.
Okay, so talking about the late, no, late videos. I think, before like we started to actually have a meeting or maybe interview like for new candidates, we can like just within us discuss about the all of the event plannings, and also the timeline that we can set for each events, so that we can know uh, how long or when do we need to actually put the post out or even the reels, and try to just follow that structure that we actually set in the first place. However, talking about like new ideas and like new innovation, I understand that MUSA activities is very a very innovative organization. So I'm pretty sure that there is like last minute posts or ideas or reels that will come up later. Um, for that, I think I can say that we can make a plan B for the initial plan, so that we can put out those sudden innovative ideas, not too late to not too late or close to the event. Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, so to add on to Hilly's answer as well, since we are both in event management, we all know that no event will go smoothly. So we can just assume we will have a crisis at very close to the event, something similar, so we can implement plans to it, so that we can ensure that if let's say our plan A fails, we can go back into plan B. Then if let's say our plan B fails, we can go back to plan C. Then we can take the experience from this particular event and apply it on our next event to see whether if the plan works or the plan doesn't work. So I think that is one way we can do it. And another way is for the new idea, we also, instead of just doing physical promotion, I think we also could just do an email blast, what I just mentioned just now on the MVP newsletter. I think that is quite good, as some students do check their email some students actually. So having an email blast to everybody, it'll be quite beneficial as well. So as not everybody will be chronically on their phone. So instead of just on their IG, email is something, if it's quite important, people usually check it. So if for those who have the interest in continuing events, then when they see MUSA activity has emailed you, they will definitely see something is quite important as well.
All right. So is there any other things that
Sorry,
Yes,
I
please.
want to add. So instead of just like before, as he said, online promotion, I think we would definitely want to enhance the physical promotion, just as like this Monash Ball physical promotion. I think it's quite successful. So for the next year, I think I will implement more on the physical promotion also, rather than just the online promotion.
That's all? All right. Is there any follow-up question?
Could you elaborate more on the plan B, C, D, and so on?
Okay, so for that is more on we assume not say like okay, like let's say we want to do this and what if we can't do this? Is there a backup plan we can fall on to if let's say we are posting our post on a date, just something simple. We want to post it on this date, but suddenly something happened, we have to shift the thing to another date. Or we can just try to use it we will have a backup plan of a backup date to post on that is that's not too far off from the date as well, so that we can gauge roughly how much time we have left for the planning. So if let's say this goes wrong, how much time, let's say we need to post it on Monday, but we backup plan only can post it on Wednesday. So we at least before in mind we have if let's say this plans fail, we have around 2 to 3 days less to plan this event to execute something. So we have 2 to 3 days to recruit participants. We have less time to buy our equipment as well. So that could be an issue as well. So something similar to like that.
You clear with the question?
I think I'm okay.
All right.
Thank you for your answer.
Okay, so that's the end of the Q&A session from the students. So great job. Now we are moving on to the next session, which is the closing statement from the candidates. So during this session, the candidates will summarize all the key points that they have discussed with the students, with the office bearers during the debating session today. And then they will also emphasize to the student community why they should vote for them as the head of activities for the upcoming general elections voting period. So whenever you guys are ready.
I think we have said what we wanted to say. So just to summarize everything on our manifesto, which is make Monash alive, to increase the student experience, to make sure every student, when they come into Monash, they don't regret coming in. They know that they had fun. They know that they picked the right university. Second one, which is increased external collaboration, where we want to take up the collaboration approach, collaboration goal of this year MUSA up a notch again, so that we get to put Monash MUSA events out on the market as well, to know that MUSA events is an event deserving of going. And another one, which is commitment, building on tradition and driving innovation, which we want to do, as this year of MUSA activity has been an experimental year. We hope to keep on the experimental program to see what we have experimented this year and continue improving on the events that we have did this year, so that we next time we know what to do and what was the shortcoming of the event, and we can improve upon it as well. And I hope what me and Hillary has said has convinced you that yes, we are fit enough to become this head of activities. We do hope you vote for us, and I would like to thank everybody who is present and live stream for their questions, for their presence. And thank you to Tom and Aaron for being here as well. And thank you, Valencia and Wesley, for guiding us throughout this journey as well. And yeah, I think that's all from me. Hillary, anything to say? Okay, no, I think. I think just thank you, Angel. Oh my God.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so great job, guys. Please give them a round of applause. So that is the end for the debating session for day 4 of MUSA General Elections 2024. And tomorrow will mark the last day of the debating session. And it will be the debating session for the Vice President, General Secretary, and President position. And the venue that the debating session will happening is at Auditorium 1. So it will be the last day and also the most anticipated day, where you guys can listen to your student leaders and know what do they have for you guys. So please make sure to stay tuned for the debating session tomorrow. If you are available, please visit the debating session venue physically. If you are not, live stream is still happening on YouTube channel. So that is it for today, and see you guys soon.